Hello and welcome to the show. Now, we're both passionate about property. It's something that fascinates and excites us, from the thrill of the auction to the satisfaction of the transformation.
Absolutely. It can be a competitive business, though, and it can be tricky to find those bargains. However, you do stand a good chance at your local property auction. From my experience, part of the reason people love a local auction is the theatre of it.
Yes, the drama. You think the bid's finished and then somebody steps in at the last minute and steals the lot. So how did the bidding go on today's auction properties?
Tommy is living on the edge in Hornsey, London.
Whoa! Whoa! Yes. Got to be very careful.
I miss out on a party in Coventry.
Oh, someone had a party. Maybe it was their leaving party.
And in Folkestone, Kent, Martin's left speechless.
A bit concerned about the state of these electrics. Wow. Yeah.
All these properties have been sold at auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
5 sold.
Hornsey in North London is viewed as something of an up-and-coming area. Sandwiched between Crouch End and Alexandra Palace, it has a bustling high street full of independent shops, cafes and pubs. And Tommy's here to see an auction lot.
And it's a mixed property I'm looking at today, residential and commercial. And this is it. So the shop forms the ground floor and the 2 upper floors form a self-contained maisonette. So it's quite a substantial property with a guide price of £625,000. Let's take a closer look. Well, this is substantial. This is well over 80 metres, so that's a big shop space. It's a bit rough, though, a bit derelict, but the real good thing about it is the shop front that runs around here can actually be extended for the length of the shop, just by taking down all this old partitioning, and then you've got like a triple shop front to sell your wares from, so you can show them and advertise them in the window display. Yeah, but this is one of those jobs, looking at it, that it needs to be stripped back to the brickwork, then the fabric of the building repaired, and then rebuilt inside, where you want the partitions, how you want the floor space to look. Yeah, real potential, though.
This retail unit looks like it could be suitable for a variety of different uses. And according to the auction catalogue, there's already an offer in place to rent the space out for £25,000 a year. So straight away, that makes this a solid proposition. But something that's not so solid.
And this is one of the urgent jobs that needs doing, is this floor's got to replace. As you can see, there's a bit of spring in my step. Yeah, but this is as a result of dry rot. Poor ventilation, and the whole thing's shot. So it's got to be ripped out. There's nothing salvageable at all about this. Yes, just take it all out. Whoa! Whoa! Yes. Got to be very careful. This definitely got to go. This is very handy because this is the front door to the maisonette upstairs, and it's an independent entrance off the street. So it gives you easy access up here, which is very handy. Right, well, there's a lobby, and you come into the back of the flat, and through here into the kitchen. Well, it's not a bad size, really, for a kitchen. That's all derelict that needs to come out. No, that's an interesting one. These are 8x4 plasterboards, And that's the 8 foot goes from the floor to there. And they didn't consider it necessary when they was constructing this to cut a board and filling it up to the ceiling. So this doesn't comply with fire regulations. So it'll all have to come out. It's all got to come out anyway. It's an odd little room. And this room is anything but little. Big high ceilings, original cornice work. It's got an original Carrera marble fireplace. And it's so big and spacious, and it's double aspect on both walls. So we've got 4 big windows here, which is great for bringing in lots of light. The downside is it's very busy, very noisy, so that's the downside. And if you think you could just change these for double glazing, you've got to think again, this is in a conservation area, and any changes that you make to the outside appearance has to have permission from the local authority. But this is still a fantastic sized room, really big an area, I like it, and it has potential. Well, this is light and airy, it's what I like. I always like a window over the staircase. It's bright and airy up here, yeah. Nice, this is a lovely room. Again, this is double aspect. It mirrors the actual room below, and there's lots and lots of space on each floor. So I think it might be worth considering doing self-contained 2 two-bedroom flats. And actually, you could even build another floor into the roof space and create a 3rd floor of flats. So you could have 3 two-bedroom flats and the retail shop. That's what I like about this property. There's lots and lots of options. You've got to have the right size budget.
To help us explore some of these options, we've invited a local estate agent along to get his thoughts.
Tell me. Really like the space of the property. It's good size. The shop has been a furniture store for the last 3 years that I've worked in the area. It's always been quite popular. I think a restaurant business would suit the location very well because of the large premises on the ground floor, and also another retail unit would also suit very well. Very spacious flat upstairs, a lot of room to work with, and I think it could be a very good home for somebody. So the key thing is it needs to be fixed and sorted in this property. It would need a full refurb firstly. It looks like it could need an update in all the electrics and the heating system, and a new kitchen and bathroom would be the main things to be done here.
Starting with the commercial space, what could the potential rental income be?
For the retail unit, you're looking at around £25,000 to £30,000 per annum in rental.
And for the flat?
When the 2-bedroom maisonette is done to a good standard, you're looking at a sales valuation of around £400,000 and a rental valuation of around £1,450 per calendar month.
And if the new owner wanted to create 2 flats out of the maisonette, what might the values be then?
So if you subdivided the 2-bedroom flat into 2 one-bedroom flats, you're looking at a sales valuation of around £250,000 for each flat and a rental valuation of around £1,100 per calendar month for each flat. The whole building, once it's refurbed, for resale you could achieve around £650,000.
This is a very, very large property, and it's already got an offer on the table to rent out the shop. So that's one big headache off your mind. As I said, there's huge potential and potentially a huge profit. So who else thought it had loads of potential when it went to auction?
This lot was part of a remote auction with bids taking place online.
Final time, you're all done. Sold to the internet.
This property was listed for sale at auction, but in fact, a deal was struck prior. The successful offer was made by brothers Adam on the right and Michael on the left. They live locally and are fairly new to the property game. Tommy met with them in the upstairs maisonette to find out their plans for the place.
Well, Adam and Michael, normally at this time, I would say congratulations on your auction purchase. But I can't because you bought this pre-auction.
Exactly right.
Right, well, it was up on a guide price of £625,000.
That's right.
And what did you pay for it?
We paid £720,000.
So, best part of 100,000 over the guideline.
We had experts in to give their own valuations on what they think it's worth now and what the potential worth it could be. And we've run the numbers based on what the build would cost, and we decided that it was worth that money.
Well, good for you, because I think you've chosen well. As it's set out now, you've got a maisonette over 2 floors above the shop. Is that still the plan, just to have one unit, or are you going to split it into flats, self-contained?
We're still weighing up our options, and it's very dependent on getting the permissions of the 3rd floor. But there's Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. Plan A would obviously be getting the flooring. Plan B, make it a 3-bedroom, but we have to navigate the kitchen issue, making sure that there's those fire escapes. And Plan C is to keep it as a 2-bed flat.
So the brothers are flexible when it comes to their plans here, with the ultimate ambition being to turn the maisonette into 2 separate flats by creating a 3rd floor. But they're also prepared to keep it as is if this proves too costly or difficult with planning. Planning could be an issue, as this property is in a conservation area.
We don't want to change too much in the sense of the overall appearance anyway.
Yeah,
we definitely need to balance sort of feasibility, what we can do with what we...
Practicality,
yeah, exactly. The bathroom, if we can move that slightly, generate that space, it would definitely be a good thing to do.
Adam and Michael don't have much property experience, although Adam does have one development under his belt, a house in Bradford he renovated and now lets out. But the brothers are confident their different skill sets will complement each other.
And that's where I think we have a good partnership. Adam's very finance-driven, I'm very engineering-driven. If we can mix the two, then I think that we've got a recipe for success there.
Sure, all you need is a builder to come on board.
Now, Tommy, this isn't the time or place to be scouting for business. But joking aside, getting the right contractors in is vital, as there could be a lot to do here, externally as well as internally, and costs could quickly mount up.
What sort of budget have you got in place to do the work?
So our budget is £200,000, is as much as we're willing to kind of go up to, but we're expecting to do it within that.
How long is the timescale that you've allowed for this, do you think?
So it should take 10 weeks, but we've
10 weeks?
We've allowed for 12. That's what our team of builders are saying they can do.
Yeah, I think that's a tad optimistic. I think it'll be more like 6 months.
OK.
You know, and that's cracking on, I think, because there's a lot to do here. Yeah, so I think it's a case of sink or swim.
Hopefully it's the latter.
I'm sure it will be. At least the 2 of you, though, so you've got each other.
Exactly. He blames me and I blame him.
There you have it. The perfect partnership. Adam and Michael have only ever done one property project before, and it was quite a small one. This one, well, it's a mammoth task. And not only that, it's also mixed commercial and residential to boot. Will they be up to this huge task? You can find out later in the show.
Coventry in the West Midlands has produced its fair share of cultural icons. The city's 2-tone records gave us music from The Specials and The Selector. But perhaps its most famous export is the gloomy yet much-loved poet Philip Larkin. So, will the property I'm here to see be poetry in motion or a sad sonnet?
I'm a few miles from the centre of Coventry in this residential area, close to all the local shops and amenities. Now, the property I'm about to see is accessed through this very long pathway that's set off from the road. It's a 3-bed end of terrace that had an auction guide price of £99,000 plus. I'm still not there yet. Bear with. Wow. Here it is. Now, the front garden needs a bit of care and attention, but that's not a problem. My problem is access. Can you imagine having loads of shopping, having to go up and down? And what about your furniture? I need to solve this problem. I'm thinking, could you create a gate here, some steps and a gate here, so you've got direct access to the property? Or I've seen that there's a little pathway here that clearly goes round to the back. Could you then create a gate and access here? Either way, you'd need to seek permission from the council, but that definitely needs to be done. Right, so you've got a little porch there, great for your mucky boots and coats, into quite a generous hallway, actually. Yeah, it's a little bit dated, bit tired, wood chip wallpaper, you've got textured ceilings, but all in all, a decent size. And then you've got a kitchen. Now, this is a decent size, actually, quite spacious, but it's dated. Strip it all out, start all over again. Oh, look at this. Christmas has come early. Or maybe it's come late, I'm not sure. But you've got space for table, for dining. You've got central heating, which is great. Double glazed windows, that's great for heat and, you know, efficiency. You've got little storage there with your gas meter, that's quite handy. But this, hold on. Oh, that feels a little bit damp. Now, you need to find out the source of this. Is it coming from the pipes? Is it coming from the external building? Do investigate that. So you've got stairs leading up to the first floor. We'll have a look at that later. And into your reception room. Oh, someone had a party. Maybe it was their leaving party. Now, the room is a decent size. Yes, it needs stripping out, redecorating, new floors. You've got double doors and windows leading out to the garden, which is all double glazed, which is really good. Have you spotted the elephant in the room? It's this. Someone has built this brick feature here. I would take this all out, create a bit more space in the room. Job done. All in all, it's not too bad. This doesn't strike me as a Tudor property. Someone's trying to put up those mock beams there, strip it all out, resurface the ceiling, job done.
The mock Tudor style won't be everyone's cup of tea, so it might be time for a refresh. Outside, the back garden is a decent size and really just needs clearing up. And there's a gate that leads to the path at the side of the house. It's always handy to have access straight into the garden.
So, up to the first floor. Nice sized landing, all the rooms leading off. So you've got a tiny single bedroom there. What looks like the largest of the bedrooms up here, the master bedroom. Really nice size. You've got your bathroom here that needs to be completely ripped out. New bathroom suite added. The boiler's in there, in a cupboard. At least it's not in the bedroom. Preferably put it downstairs into the kitchen, and maybe that cupboard could be created into a shower cubicle. And then into your final bedroom. Again, not a bad size, nice and light. I do see a few signs of mould and damp on the ceiling there, but this place has been empty for quite some time. All in all, this house needs some love and attention.
And I think I may have found the source of the damp in the kitchen. This bedroom radiator has seen better days, and it's a simple job to have replaced. Something we couldn't replace is a local estate agent who has come along to tell us what he thinks of this end terrace, guided at £99,000 plus.
The property is in need of modernisation. I think particularly in terms of the kitchen and bathroom, these are dated. On the positive side, though, there is double glazing throughout the home and there is gas-fired central heating.
And what value would he put on the house once refurbished?
If the property is renovated to a good standard, I would estimate the value to be circa £160,000. On completion, I would estimate the rental value to be circa £800 per calendar month.
Well, access to the front door may not be ideal, but once you're inside the property, it's not bad at all. There's nothing structurally that concerns me. It just needs a cosmetic upgrade to get it shipshape and ready to be called home for someone. So, who went for it? Let's find out when it went under the hammer.
This auction was held online with bids made over the internet.
215, sold.
Putting in a successful bid of £125,000 was Madreen, who lives over 100 miles away in London. That's quite a commute, so I was keen to find out what was so tempting about this Coventry property.
Madreen, it's lovely to meet you, and congratulations on your purchase.
Thank you so very much.
So why this area, why this property?
I would say it's because of London prices.
Yeah.
They skyrocketed. So I was looking for something that is going to be an investment property to start with.
Right.
And where the yield is going to be worth a while without investing too much money. I had been to Coventry a few times, and I was looking for a property that can let as a HMO or service accommodation, basically, because that's what I specialize in.
Oh, right.
And so when I saw this property, I thought it could do, but in hindsight, I think it will end up being a family home.
To rent or resell?
Rent.
Did you visit the property before the auction?
That's the biggest question. No, I didn't.
No?
No, I didn't. I did not. I visited other properties, but I didn't visit this one.
But you didn't buy the other properties?
I didn't buy the other properties. I saw this, I looked at the park, legal park.
So you read the legal pack?
I read the legal park, I read everything, and I thought this can be a good property.
Do you know what? You're lucky.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
Yeah, very lucky. You say that you've got other properties. So give me your background. Is that your background?
Yes, my background is in housing, basically.
Okay.
That's where I worked for several years. But then I quit work and started property investment. So this is going to be my first purchase for investing, but I own my own property where I live in.
Yeah.
And I've also got a portfolio of leased properties,
Right.
which I run as service apartments.
Oh, wow. You're very busy.
Thank you.
So how long? So tell me, how long have you been doing the property for?
Full time?
Yeah.
1 year.
Wow.
But part time alongside working?
Yeah.
Since 2017.
What about the works that you're going to do here? What are you thinking?
It's going to be a full refurb. We're going to be replastering all the walls, changing the kitchen, new bathroom.
Yes.
But as you can see, it's not a bad property.
No.
There are things we're going to be modernizing in here.
Yeah.
I think the external work is what is worrying me a little bit. We want to establish some steps on the side, so we need to apply for permission. And then the back garden is a matter of clearing it up.
Yes.
New fencing.
Yeah.
Tidy it up, basically.
And so when we come back, what is it going to look like? What is the sort of design aesthetics that you've got in mind?
The layout is going to be remaining more or less the same.
Yes.
Internally, it's going to be cosmetic. Depending on the budget as well, what I'm thinking about is getting the external wall insulation, bring up the energy efficiency levels.
Absolutely. What about the beams here?
That's an interesting one because a lot of people like them, but because we are going for a modern look, we'll keep them, but we will most likely going to be plastering and putting spotlights.
Right. Yes. So you're not going to keep them really, are you?
They're going to be hidden somehow. The builders will tell me what they have to do, but well, they'll go.
Yeah, I think they'll go as well.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Who is going to do the actual work? Are you going to get involved?
We'll be coming to have a look, obviously oversee things.
Yes.
But I have a project manager.
Great.
Who's going to be managing the project. And then builders, basically. He's a family member and he's an architect as well.
Is he?
So,
What's his name?
Francis.
Francis?
Yeah.
OK. Oh, that's handy.
Yeah.
Is he quite reasonable costs-wise?
Does
he charge you top dollar?
He does charge like anyone else because obviously it's a job that he's doing.
Yeah.
But obviously we will be looking for builders that have worked in some of his projects before.
Perfect.
So I think I'm in good hands.
So what about budget? How much are you looking to spend on this house?
We're looking at between 15 and 20.
Okay.
But because of the external work, it might be a bit more.
And what about timescale?
Approximately 3 to 4 months.
Well, Madreen, this is a great property and congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Madrine has a few years of property developing under her belt, but this is her very first auction purchase and the first time she's bought for rental purposes. But she didn't view the property before the auction. She broke one of the golden rules of Hammer, but luckily for Madrine, there were no nasty surprises to be found here. How will she get on? You can find out later in the show.
Coming up, Martin finds the positives in Kent.
But it does have access to this garden. Needs a bit of sorting out, but it's a real bonus to have it.
And in Coventry, it's been an unexpected dream team.
I would definitely love to work with her again if she let me.
Time to head back to Hornsey in North London now, and this mixed commercial and residential unit. The ground floor contained a sizable rental unit, and the upper 2 floors were home to a 2-bed maisonette. Tommy was impressed with how much space was on offer here.
This is well over 80 metres, so that's a big shop space. The shop front that runs around here can actually be extended for the length of the shop just by taking down all this old partitioning, and then you've got like a triple shop front to sell your wares from.
But it was safe to say the property needed a lot of work.
And they didn't consider it necessary when they was constructing this to cut a board and filling it up to the ceiling. So this doesn't comply with fire regulations. So it'll all have to come out. It's all got to come out anyway.
All the work needed didn't put off brothers Adam and Michael, despite them not being experienced developers. They paid £720,000 for the property and had a number of options up their sleeves for what they could do with the space.
We're still weighing up our options, and it's very dependent on getting the permissions of the 3rd floor. But there's Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. Plan A would obviously be getting the flooring. Plan B, make it a 3-bedroom, but we have to navigate the kitchen issue, making sure that there's those fire escapes. And Plan C is to keep it as a 2-bed flat.
Regardless of which direction they went in, they hoped to get the project done with a £200,000 budget and a timescale of only 10 to 12 weeks, which Tommy thought was very optimistic. Well, we're back 11 months later to find out how they got on. Wraparound windows have been installed in the commercial unit, which has modernised the space. Inside, the unit isn't quite finished, but they have taken everything back to brick, and you can see it's starting to take shape. Moving upstairs to the flat, they've gone for their Plan B, which was to turn it from a 2-bed into a 3-bed, with the old kitchen being turned into a bedroom. A WC has been added. And the old living space has been turned into a new kitchen living area. The hallway and staircase are now bright and modern. Up on the 2nd floor, we find the other 2 improved bedrooms, and one of them now comes with an added ensuite. And there's a brand new stunning bathroom. The property looks amazing, and the boys have clearly done a lot of work here. But how did they get on tackling the commercial space?
The way that we've left it at the moment, it's kind of open to anyone really coming in there and making their space, that space their own. So we've left things like the flooring so that can be placed in, and we put the basics in like lighting, water, etc., but capped off so that whoever does come into that space can change it as per their needs.
Exactly. So that's why it doesn't look quite finished yet, because it's ready for the tenant to make it their own.
And moving on to the flat upstairs.
We've changed the flat from a 2-bed into a 3-bed flat by moving the kitchen into the living area. We've added a WC downstairs, and upstairs there are 2 bedrooms, one with an ensuite and an added bathroom.
They both got involved with the renovations, with Michael taking more of a hands-on approach and Adam working closely with the project managers. The project didn't start smoothly as they had some issues with their initial building team, but they eventually found another great team to work with. This did, however, cause extra costs, and along with the price of building materials going up, they have gone over budget by £20,000, spending a total of £220,000. They had an optimistic timescale of 12 weeks, but Tommy reckoned they'd need 6 months to get it done. So even though it's taken longer than planned, are they pleased with the end results?
So it's taken just 10 months, so a little bit over budget and time. However, what we've actually come out with is a beautiful property with a high spec to it as well, and something that I can honestly say we're proud of as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The offer in place on the commercial unit at the start didn't transpire, but they still hope to rent the space out. They haven't 100% decided what to do with the flat yet, but they are leaning towards the rental market. However, they are keen to hear some values first. So, to help with their decision-making, we've asked back the agent from our first visit to get his new thoughts, starting with the commercial unit.
The works that have taken place to the shop on the ground floor are really good. They've really maximised on the space. Could be used as a very good office space or commercial unit.
And what does he think of the newly renovated flat?
I think it's much better as a 3-bedroom maisonette because the property just seems much bigger than it was as a 2-bedroom. Getting in the extra room and the extra bathrooms have obviously just increased the size of the property overall. I think the standard of finish of the property is very high, the specification's lovely, and I think it looks great and modern throughout.
The agent thinks there will be a high demand for the commercial space as it sits on a prime high street location. He thinks it could achieve around £1,500 per calendar month, which is a bit less than the initial figure on offer just under a year ago. But what about the flat?
If you were going to rent the 3-bedroom maisonette, I think it would rent for in the region of £2,500 per calendar month.
Okay, I think the flat is what we were expecting, and the shop we're hoping to get a little bit more in the market.
So they hope to achieve a little more than that total yield of 5.1% for the shop and flat combined. The agent thinks if the whole building was put on the sales market, it could achieve over £1 million. But what if the flat alone was put on the sales market?
If you were to sell the 3-bedroom maisonette, I think you could achieve a price of £675,000.
Yeah, so that's what we were expecting. We haven't made too much on the property, but we've learnt a lot for the next thing.
Yeah, I think it makes it worthwhile, but we're still looking at renting the property out, so hopefully we can add value over time as well.
So for now, they're set on renting the property out. But if they ever did decide to sell the lot, they could be looking at a pre-tax profit of around £60,000. So what's next for Adam and Michael?
I've already got my eyes on the next project.
Oh no.
We now head to the Kent port town of Folkestone, home to the Channel Tunnel and a thriving art scene. A town that's certainly becoming the place to be, and someone who's well aware of this is our Martin.
According to some of the property websites, inquiries for properties in Folkestone are up 80% recently, and it's not hard to see why. You've got a high-speed rail link that links you into the centre of London in around an hour. You've got a lot of redevelopment going on the harbour side. It's just a great place. So this is quite exciting. I'm here to see this enormous building split into 2 maisonettes, a lower one and then something up there. We'll explore that in a minute. £225,000. The guide price. Surely with everything that's going on, that's got to be worth a look. So, into your ground floor maisonette. A lot of places like this, which are sort of the lower part in a building like this, can sometimes feel a little bit oppressive. You really feel like you're buried underground. In this case, it doesn't, although you are down a few steps. You've got this big bay window, so still lots of light coming in here. Obviously, you need to be a little bit more aware of damp because it might be an issue once you get, yes, once you get slightly below ground, you can see. That's something to be aware of. And a good place to see if there's any more issues is by opening the cupboards and, oh my word, yes, it looks like there's some damp there, but more importantly, I'm a bit concerned about the state of these electrics. Wow. Yeah. Frankenstein, eat your heart out. Yes, OK, well, moving swiftly on from that, it is worth always opening the cupboards. A few nice features. That fireplace is quite sweet. It's not a bad start. So through here, you've got stairs to access the 2 bedrooms, a downstairs loo and shower room, which is quite nice. Very dated, as indeed is the kitchen. So definitely renovate the bathroom there, renovate this kitchen, because it's actually quite a nice space. The other thing that's really nice about this particular maisonette is that it's ground floor, or lower ground floor, whatever you want to call it, but it does have access to this garden. Obviously, not in the best of conditions, bit of decking, needs a bit of sorting out, but it's a real bonus to have it. Yeah, really quite pleasant. So anyway, let's explore those 2 bedrooms.
There's a toilet at the top of the stairs, which is handy. And the first bedroom at the back of the property is a decent size and is in fairly good condition. And in the front bedroom, things get even better.
It is a really nice room with this big bay window, there's a light pouring in. Obviously, you are on this fairly busy main road, and you fire alarm that goes beep. Yeah, that's not ideal, but you have got double glazing. You might want to put extra glazing on the top of that to make it triple glazing to cut down that noise.
Now it's time for Martin to check out the upper maisonette.
So, separate entrance to the second maisonette, which is really good news. And loo on this little half landing here, but let's carry on. So, up onto this floor, and a kitchen looks to be in slightly better condition than the one of the maisonette downstairs, and then through into a really nice sized lounge. Again, lots of light coming in through the windows. A good sized space, and yeah, we've still got the bedrooms to explore. So good news, you've got a full bathroom up here. Again, it needs a bit of renovation. A smaller bedroom to the rear, and then a really nice-sized bedroom here to top off what is, in my view, a really great property. A lot of house for the money.
Speaking of money, we've invited along a local estate agent to see what she makes of these properties and what they could be worth.
It's a really good sized property. Yeah, 2 big maisonettes. You've got the garden with the lower ground floor, spacious rooms, a couple of bathrooms in each, nice fireplaces. I don't think it's in really bad condition in either of them. I think they need a bit of a freshen up, but yeah, generally really good size.
So what sales and rental figures would she place on these flats?
I think you could rent the upper maisonette for £700 to £750 per calendar month, and the lower ground floor maisonette with the garden would get £750 to £800 per calendar month.
And on the sales market?
I think the upper maisonette would sell for £150,000, and the downstairs with the garden would sell for a little bit more at £170,000.
Well, it's in a good spot with certainly lots of outward investment coming into the area, which has got to be a good sign. And the hard work of converting it into those 2 maisonettes has been done for you. So a good one to go for. Let's see who agreed when it went under the hammer.
This lot was sold at a remote property auction with online bids only.
If everyone's done, it's going to be sold.
And the winning bidders who scooped up the lot for £246,000 were Baha and her brother Hassan, along with their business partners who couldn't make it along today.
Baha, Hassan, lovely to meet you both.
And you.
Congratulations. Tell me why you wanted to buy this place.
We showed interest in this place a little while back. Unfortunately, we were unable to buy it, and it came up for auction. And now we've got it.
You got it, fantastic. Yeah. Why are we so keen to buy it?
More for the area, the fact that it's one whole unit and it comes with 2 maisonettes as well, so the whole freehold with the leases as well. and we've got plans to rent it both, and maybe even in the future decide to maybe turn it into 4 one-beds.
So then how would you convert it into 4 flats? How would that work?
To be totally honest, I'm not quite sure. I do know that down the road, though, they've got planning permission. They've already done one into 4 flats.
Oh, wow. Go and have a look, then.
Yeah, we'll probably have to go
That's
and
a good
have
trick,
look.
isn't it?
Or, yeah, I'm sure the architect will be able to draw something up. He'll know how he or she will be able
Right.
to.
Well, it's good that you've got the 2 separate accesses to start off
Yes.
with. And,
Yes.
and what about Folkestone in general? Obviously, you feel very positive about what's going on there. Seems to be a lot of outward investment.
Seems that way, yeah. Yeah, I mean, generally, we tend to invest inside the M25, inside around London and so forth. So this one was a bit of a gamble. But we have other family members that have bought around here and have seen an increase in the last sort of 5 years. And they've spoken positively of it, so we thought we'd give it a shot.
Great. So is this what you do?
Yes, we've recently started buying a few properties, so we've got a portfolio together.
Great.
But we've got our full-time jobs as well, haven't we?
What do you both do?
So I'm a mortgage advisor.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Hassan.
And I'm an auditor for
Okay.
the utilities industry.
OK, fine.
We also do it with Hassan's wife, Susan, and my husband, Billy.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
There's 4 of us.
And it sounds like you've got complementary skills there. You're both very numbers people, then, so you're good at analysing the facts it's going to work or not.
She's the treasurer.
Really?
She's the one. She does the numbers.
So have you got somebody in the group who's very practical, who can do the building works or at least supervise them?
You're generally the building work sort of project manager, right?
Yeah, I sort of overlook it as well. But obviously, this being quite a distance from home, we're going to let someone else run this.
OK. So tell me about how the relationship formed, you and your husband and you and your wife. How did you sort of come together to be doing this then?
I think we kind of decided, you know, let's start buying properties. Me and my brother have both got our own properties separately, so we thought we might as well give it a try. Family, our parents are landlords as well, so
OK.
we kind of thought we'd give it a try as well.
Yeah.
And because I've got the knowledge, because I'm a mortgage advisor and I
Yeah.
deal with clients, I thought, well, you know, I've got the knowledge, let's go for it.
Yeah. And it's obviously going all right.
Yeah, so far so good.
You've obviously got the garden downstairs, and this feels to me like the ground floor, you know, maisonette needs a bit more work than the upper one.
That's correct.
I would say so.
So you're going to sort out the garden a bit and spend a bit more time there.
Indeed.
The other work the group are planning on carrying out is just light renovations, replastering and repairing where needed, and redecoration. They're going to hold on to the current kitchens and bathrooms for now, as there is a possibility of everything getting ripped out again if they go ahead with converting the 2 properties into 4. But for now, the plan is to get this place ready quickly and on the rental market. They've set aside a budget of £10,000 and a timescale of 4 to 6 weeks to get it done.
Work it.
Have you looked at what kind of money you might expect from a property like this?
We've had a few quotes from agents. Nothing definitive. Some of them are saying around the 750 mark. So, yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, would that be a reasonable return on your investment?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it would
yeah,
be.
we'd be happy with 750 and anything above that, even more so.
Bit of a bonus.
Yeah.
Well, listen, congratulations. Good luck with it, and we look forward to seeing how you get on.
Thank
you very much.
So Baha and Hassan not planning a major renovation of this place. Bit of a shame they're not doing the kitchens and bathrooms. But I guess they want to get it back on the market, the rental market, as soon as they can. So maybe perhaps not too much of a major transformation when we return. You can find out later in the show. Well, we've checked out one property, but that still leaves the other 2.
So how did they get on? Did they stick to budget, or were those spreadsheets subject to a couple of redrafts?
Let's go back and find out.
Back now to Coventry and a 3-bed end terrace. This house was all about the journey.
Now, the property I'm about to see is accessed through this very long pathway that's set off from the road.
But a bit of a walk was never going to put me off the pursuit of a property development opportunity.
Wow. Here it is. Can you imagine having loads of shopping, having to go up and down? And what about your furniture?
So, access wasn't great. There was a side gate at the back, but otherwise it was a long walk for this one. And once inside, you know the drill. It was tired, dated, and needed a complete overhaul from top to bottom. But fundamentally, it was a good house. And it was bought at auction by Madrine for £125,000. But London-based Madrine hadn't followed the recommended path to purchase.
Did you visit the property before the auction?
That's the biggest question. No, I didn't.
No?
No, I didn't. I did not. I visited other properties, but I didn't visit this one.
But you didn't buy the other properties?
I didn't buy the other properties.
But you know what? You're lucky.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
Yeah, very, very lucky.
So Madrine, with a bit of luck and a bit of experience, having worked in property management for 30 years, had landed herself with a property that was not much more than a doer-upper. And she hoped that £15,000 to £20,000, and with the help from a family member who just so happened to be a builder, this could become a rental vehicle in 3 to 4 months. And now, 5 months on, we're back. OK, it's looking good in the living area. And there's a new modern kitchen installed, and it's retiled throughout. They've also taken a small part of the kitchen to create a useful downstairs cloakroom. Smart move, that one. And upstairs? Well, the 3 bedrooms are ready to go. But what about the bathroom? So Madrine looks like she's got the house she wanted, but initially she didn't get the builder that she wanted.
So basically, my first builder that I was going to do the project with had another job going, and I contacted Deepak. We came, had a conversation, and he was doing a property right behind mine. So what we did is remove the back panel of the garden and was crisscrossing between the 2 properties.
How brilliant that the solution to Madrine's building predicament was so close at hand. Particularly when she was so far away from the property and not able to be directly involved.
I wasn't very hands-on. I think I painted 1 window.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I'm quite hands-off as well. I've got a team of 4, and this work was done by all 4 of them. They are not on camera, but hats off and thanks to them.
Deepak and Madrine kept in close contact via the internet. And this method of her project managing from a distance, while Deepak project managed on the ground, seems to have worked out. And it also seems that between them, they have the perfect skill set.
She is the design and the finance manager. I'm not a creative person, much more hands-on logic. And yeah, so she's the creative head.
And so together, this house has really been transformed from old and tired to bright and light. But has Madrine stuck to her £15,000 to £20,000 budget?
I must admit I underestimated the work that was going to be here. He's come to 28,000, but a lot of it is due to the material costs.
Material costs gone up.
Yeah, I underestimated that.
£28,000 on top of £125,000 purchase price does mean Madrine has £153,000 invested into this 3-bed end of terrace. So, money well spent? What does the agent that saw it last time think?
What a transformation. It looks a little bit different from the first time I was here. Really good sized living room with this property. That's the first thing that struck me. And also the kitchen, it's a dining kitchen, so there's space to eat in there. So big thumbs up for me on the layout. It's just nice and simple.
Currently, Madrine isn't too sure about whether to rent or sell the house. So hopefully the numbers will help her make up her mind.
In my opinion, the property would be worth around £200,000 if it was going on the sales market. And if they were looking at letting, I think you'd be looking at £1,100 per calendar month.
So, does a potential 47 grand pre-tax profit sway her towards selling?
I really don't know, honestly. I would sell it if I would, if it can achieve that amount, I would sell it and move on to the next project. The rentals as well are quite good anyway, so I can hold on to it for a couple of years, maybe 1, 2, 3 years, and then see how the market goes as well.
And with the rental yield around 8% on offer, it's not hard to see why that route also makes sense. So, a successful project financially, but is this going to be the start of a property partnership with Nadreen and Deepak?
I would definitely love to work with her again if she let me.
Yeah, and I would like to work with him.
Back now to Folkestone and a bay-fronted Victorian terrace guided at £220,000 that had been arranged as two-bed maisonettes over 4 floors. And the building just went on and on.
A really nice-sized bedroom here to top off what is, in my view, a really great property. Just think about that guide price as well, $225,000. A lot of house for the money.
A whole lot of building indeed. And something London-based brother and sister Hassan and Baha, along with their respective partners, couldn't resist. And they snapped it up at auction for £246,000.
So tell me about how the relationship formed, you and your husband and you and your wife. How did you sort of come together to be doing this then?
I think we kind of decided, let's start buying properties. Me and my brother have both got our own properties separately, so we thought we might as well give it a try. Family, our parents are landlords as well, so
okay.
We kind of thought we'd give it a try as well.
Yeah.
And because I've got the knowledge, because I'm a mortgage advisor and I deal with clients, I thought, well, I've got the knowledge, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Hassan is an auditor in the utilities industry, and with Baha's role as a mortgage advisor and her husband, the financial advisor, they all brought a lot of different skills to the party. But with this property being an hour and a half away from where they lived, and all with full-time jobs, this refurb was going to be contracted out with a potential 2-pronged approach. Firstly, to get it freshened up and the 2 maisonettes rented out as soon as possible. And then, long-term, the thought was to convert it into 4 one-bed flats. And the first stage, they hoped they could complete in 4 to 6 weeks with a budget of £10,000. Now we're back 10 weeks later to check on progress. Well, it certainly has more curb appeal from the outside. And the inside? The 2-bed maisonette on the 2 lower floors is now much lighter and brighter.
We've chosen not to kind of change the bathrooms or the kitchen because the properties will be rented.
The units themselves weren't in bad nick, but with new flooring and paint, the rooms have been improved.
It's been a light refurb. We wanted to quickly get this out as soon as possible, really.
The same approach has been taken with the 2-bed maisonette on the top 2 floors. Sometimes, it's amazing what a lick of paint and a bit of elbow grease can do. And the idea here was for them to do as little hands-on work as possible. So did that go to plan?
We hand over to a local contractor who fixed up all the outside for us, the garden, internally as well. We've done the painting and the plastering for us as well. With regards to the gas and electric, again, we use local contractors in here as well. We've had all the windows repaired. That was a bit of an unexpected cost, but again, they all needed doing, so they've all been repaired as well.
But how did the family team divvy up the other roles?
I generally deal with the beginning of things like the financing, etc. Then my brother and my husband get down to the nitty-gritty and sort all that kind of things out. And my sister-in-law deals with like the admin side of things for us. So we kind of work well as a team. We all kind of know what we need to do when we've seen a property. So it was fairly easy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's always a bonus when you have a great team. So does their long-term plan for the property still apply?
So our long-term plan maybe was to look at changing the flats to sort of one-bed flats.
Probably come back to this property in the next sort of 4 or 5 years and decide what we're going to do with it then. Until then, we'll just rent it out.
Well, that's for another day. For now, it's about the 2-bed maisonettes generating some income. But what has it cost them to get it ready to rent?
I'd say we're about 12,000. We've spent about 12,000 overall, so it's not too bad, to be fair. Obviously, we've had new carpets, we had the windows, replastering, painting. So, yeah, I think we've done quite well, to be fair.
Yeah.
£12,000 on top of a £246,000 purchase price does mean they've invested a total of £258,000 here. So, money well spent. What does the agent that saw it last time think?
I think the changes are good. They've repainted the front of the building, put new carpets in, light refurbishment throughout. I think they could have done a little bit more. I think if it were me, I would have put new kitchens in, a bit of replastering throughout. Some of the walls look like they need a little bit of attention. So maybe a little bit more work just to bring it up to a higher standard.
Yes, there is perhaps an argument to do more, but with a longer-term plan to convert it into 4 one-bed flats, from an investment point of view, it didn't make sense to overspend at this stage. But what does it mean for their £258,000 investment?
I would say for the upper flat, I would recommend the price of £170,000 and the lower flat with the garden, approximately £190,000.
That's a total of £360,000, meaning there could be a potential pre-tax profit of £102,000 in the building. But what about those all-important rental figures?
I think the upper flat would rent for £700 to £750 per calendar month, and the downstairs with the garden, £750 to £800 per calendar month.
Yeah, we were sort of expecting around between the £750 to £850 mark per calendar month per flat. So, yeah, that's pretty much spot on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, even the lowest rental figures would generate a yield above 6%. So far, financially, this has been a sound investment and a project that has gone smoothly without many hitches. So what advice do they have for anyone wanting to try their hand at property development?
I would say don't be afraid and always have a contingency plan and know that you're possibly overrun as well. And you need a good team of builders, contractors, people that you can rely on as well. So I would just say to people, go for it.
Yeah, agreed. Totally.
Well, that's all for today's show. You know what, we really do see it all, don't we? From terraces to townhouses.
Bungalows to barns, and there are plenty more to come. So join us next time here on Homes Under the Hammer.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.